Hey everybody, what is up? We're here for the live stream. Sorry we're a little bit late here. 6 o'clock, 6:05, not too bad. I'm here today with my friend and business owner, longtime vegan, Joel Capilongo. He's a local business owner here in Syracuse, New York. He's also, I think between the both of us, we have about 50 years vegan. It's a pretty long time. Anyway, we're here to answer some questions about going vegan, staying vegan, our journey to get where we are now. And if you guys have any questions after that, feel free to ask. How's everyone doing today? All right, so Joel, first of all, you are the owner of the only vegan restaurant here in Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, I'm the co-owner.
Co-owner.
My business partner, Nick Ryan, and I have owned Strong Hearts Cafe for the last almost 11 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's and you're doing great now. You have 2 locations.
We opened our second location up near Syracuse University a little over 5 years ago. And we're about to expand the original cafe into a much larger space this summer, about 1 block away from the current cafe. But it's going to give us like 4 times the amount of space we currently have.
That's awesome. So we'll be able to talk to you guys about being a vegan business owner. But even before that, I want to kind of talk to you. You guys have already heard me many times tell my story about how I went vegan. But around that same time, Joel also went vegan. So we're about the same age. I think we're a year apart. Our birthdays are 1 day apart.
Yeah.
So do you want to go ahead and tell your story about how you went vegan?
Sure.
And how things were back then?
Yeah, so just, I guess, real quickly, the Cliff Notes version. I grew up in a little town north of Syracuse called Central Square, which is a very rural community. It's out in the country, a lot of farms, so veganism really wasn't really on the radar in that area back then. I fell into a group of friends who were into punk rock and hardcore music and skateboarding, so that's how I kind of got introduced to vegetarianism. And this is back in like 1992. I went to a hardcore punk rock show in the fall of 1992, and I went vegetarian due to some literature I picked up at that show, and due to some positive peer pressure from my friends, honestly. And then 6 months later, in the summer of 1993, I went vegan, again due to positive peer pressure and literature I was reading. I think at the time the big thing that I read that made me want to go vegan was a book called Diet for a New America by John Robbins, which I know has influenced many people to go vegan, especially back in the early to mid 90s. So yeah, I've been vegan since the summer of 1993, so going on almost 26 years now. That's my story in a nutshell. There's nothing too exciting, nothing too amazing. I don't remember the exact day I became vegan because it was kind of a long process, and when it happened, it just kind of happened, and that was almost 26 years ago. I've owned Strong Hearts for the last almost 11 years. I've been heavily involved in animal rights activism that entire time. Volunteering with the Animal Defense League and other various grassroots animal rights groups. I volunteered with the Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. I did one of their anti-whaling campaigns in Antarctica back in 2005 and 2006.
And here's an actual picture of you. I brought it up.
Yeah.
So you were on the cover of National Geographic. That's the cover, right?
Yeah, that was on the cover of a National Geographic adventure magazine.
And that was back in, 2005 or 6?
The magazine came out in the winter of 2006.
You want to explain what you're doing here?
Yeah, so that's me in what they call a Zodiac boat, which is like a small inflatable boat with a powerful motor. And the ship behind us there, the large black ship, is the Nishan Maru, which is the Japanese... it's kind of like the Death Star of the Japanese whaling industry. It's the factory ship. It's where all the harpoon ships take the whales to be processed while they're at sea. So we were attempting to disable that ship.
You're actually near Antarctica, aren't you?
In this photo, yeah. I mean, we're like right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and the other 2, or actually the other 3 men on that boat tried for a few hours to disable that ship. we were unable to do that. But the campaign lasted approximately 45 days. And we made Japan miss their quota that year by a few hundred whales. So all in all, we didn't save every single whale down there at the time, but we saved several hundred. So
something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so and how have you seen veganism change throughout the years from when you went vegan, 93 to where it is now?
So back when I went vegan in the mid 90s, veganism it just wasn't mainstream. It was so far underground. It was such a subculture. There wasn't documentaries on Netflix. There wasn't even the internet back then.
Google didn't exist until 98, yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted information, you had to actively seek it out. So if you were vegan back then, it took a lot of work and a lot of education and a lot of writing to companies and figuring stuff out for yourself. So it was much, I would say, harder, So that created this kind of mindset that we were all kind of in it together back then, If you wanted support, like you had to actually talk to people face to face. You had to meet with people. You couldn't go on an online forum and ask for advice.
That's actually what this question is right here. Cassie says, any advice for people who want to sustain a vegan lifestyle when nobody they know personally is vegan?
My answer to that would be to get online.
Yeah.
It's so easy to find
groups,
other
Facebook
vegans.
groups,
Exactly.
local chapters of vegan meetups and stuff in your town, stuff like that. And if none exists, make one and try to get a few people together. And even if they're not vegan but they're curious to go vegan, have them come to your event. Make all vegan dishes and stuff like that. And you talk about it, and you can talk about like where you find in new products. That's what goes on in our vegan local Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was also back then, if you were a vegan, it almost meant, almost the entire time, if you were a vegan, it also meant you were an activist. You were into animal rights. It was more than just a diet. It was like an entire lifestyle.
Right.
And nowadays, of course, as you know, people jump into veganism without really knowing a lot about it, and there's not really much to it nowadays. So the barrier of entry is very low. Back then, the barrier of entry was very high. You had to put in a lot of work to be vegan. Now it takes very little work to be vegan. So I feel like that aspect of veganism has definitely changed in the past 25 years.
It's definitely easier today. I still consider veganism to be like a lifestyle, but there's certain people, I guess, they distinguish it between plant-based. The way I say it is like all vegans are plant-based, but not all plant-based are vegan.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, it's a lot easier today to be vegan. It's more convenient, I guess, to be vegan. I never thought it was hard to be vegan, but it's definitely more convenient nowadays to be vegan. And then, so almost 11 years ago, you decided we need a vegan eatery here in Syracuse, New York, and you and your co-founder, Nick, decided to open up Strong Hearts.
Yeah, we obviously were vegan at the time, and there was no vegan restaurant. And we put our heads together, and we just did it ourselves, without any prior experience in obviously owning a restaurant or even working in a restaurant or even owning a business. It was two just punk rock kids that had this like wild dream and a lot of heart and a lot of desire and a lot of hustle. We had no experience, but we made up for those things and just a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and you're known for having the most milkshakes, the most different kind of flavors of milkshakes around.
Someone said that we have the widest selection of milkshakes in the world. I haven't tried to verify that, but we have 47 on a regular menu.
That's amazing. And I remember when you first started, you were out of them right away. Like it was like a learning curve.
Yeah, there's many, many times over probably the first 6 or 7 years where we would just run out of ice cream because it was selling faster than we could order it, amongst a few other reasons. But fortunately, that doesn't happen too much anymore. We've got that aspect of the business down pretty well.
Yeah. And then every Friday night is pizza night, pizza and wings.
That's our busiest night of the week for sure. Wait times can get up to an hour sometimes for a pizza, which I know sounds crazy to people, but we have a very small cafe, and we do the best we can with the space that we have.
We got someone. August says, quickly Googling how far Syracuse is from me. And still, all these years, I've always wanted to make a vegan, like a pizza place. But if I did that, I'd kind of be stuck here for a little bit. I like being able to travel a lot right now. But eventually, I think I want to also open up some kind of restaurant here in Syracuse or somewhere. But this is our home. We're both born and raised here in the Syracuse area. Mm-hmm. So let's see, 17 years vegan. So staying vegan for you and your sum it up for them, how it's been for you to stay vegan.
I mean, it's kind of a hard question to answer because to me it's just so basic, right?
Yeah.
I'm vegan for the animals, right? I'm an ethical vegan. I'm a moral vegan. That's the most important thing to me. So I'm not vegan for my health. I'm not vegan for the environment. Sure, I appreciate the positive aspects of those things. But when I think about animals being tortured and slaughtered and being born into a system that they'll never escape, that's why I stay vegan. It's so easy for me.
Exactly.
It's just like, I kind of liken it to driving stick shift on a car, right? Once you learn to do it, you don't think about how to do it. You just do it. It's automatic. It's an automatic.
It's like riding a bike.
Exactly. Once you know how, like, that's it. That's all there is. There's no going back. So, I think a lot of the people that choose not to be vegan once they became vegan maybe were in it for the wrong reasons,
I agree. Someone says, were you ever a raw vegan?
I've experimented with it for very, very brief periods, but no, I've never been a raw vegan for an extended time period.
All right, and they want to know, I missed it. Oh, do either of us have children? I don't have children.
I don't, and that's a conscious decision not to have kids.
Both of my brothers have children, and they are vegan children, vegan pregnancies. Well, at least one of them a vegan pregnancy. The other one, his wife is a vegetarian, not a vegan. But we got two little vegan nieces there. Oh, and also, you have been each year taking Strong Hearts to the New York State Fair, which is predominantly not a vegan-friendly place. So it's nice to see. And also, my observation, along with a lot of other people's, is out of all the places to go in the food center where you're located, you always have the longest line.
People really like us there, which is crazy because, as you said, the New York State Fair is very not animal friendly. It's very animal agriculture based. But, this upcoming year will be our 5th year there. And like you said, our stand is typically the one in the building that we're in that has like the longest lines. So there's definitely something to the rise of veganism and it being more popular. And we serve good food, I think. So
yeah. So what would an ideal meal there be? Like somebody coming there and looking at the menu. What's like one of your popular things?
At the New York State Fair are deep fried chicken wings. I mean, so many people get those. We're almost constantly making those like all day long. And at the New York State Fair, we reach people that we normally would not be able to reach, people that would not step foot inside a vegan cafe. They're already at the fair, so like vegan food is kind of a novelty there. So they're like, sure, I'll try a vegan chicken wing. And just the reactions we get there, it's overwhelming. It's like...
You've been on the news. I've watched the news anchors try it out and being like, oh my God, it's good.
I mean, it almost makes me emotional to see like, people that I visually wouldn't identify as being customers of the cafe come back and be like, man, I don't know what was in that vegan chicken wing, but it sure was good. And then they'll order more, Yeah,
and then word of mouth, and then everybody's there. It's crazy.
And I think once you give people ethical alternatives that are convenient, are affordable, and taste just as good as the meat products they're used to eating, the decision to be more ethical is a lot easier for that person.
Definitely. I want to say thank you to Lena J for the donation there. Thank you so much. And Alicia says, I have 3 vegan teenage sons. Awesome. My mom has 3 non-teenage vegan sons. At one point, though, we were teenage. The Philly cheesesteak is amazing, says Leah.
Thank you.
Syracuse is 5 hours from Mel. Vegan makeup share is here. Cool. Hey, there she is. Hey, Crystal, what's up? So Babu says, can someone make vegan pastrami and corned beef on rye?
Doesn't the herbivorous butcher do that?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to do our own rye bread with the corned beef, but we never thought about the pastrami part. Heather says, I had a great Philly cheesesteak at a vegan restaurant in Philly. Was it Blackbird? They have really good vegan cheesesteaks.
I love Blackbird.
Yeah. What is your favorite mozzarella cheese for pizza? I would have to go with Miyoko's mozzarella. What would you say?
Yeah, I'm honestly, I don't get wowed by any of the vegan cheeses. Like, I'm fine with eating a pizza without cheese, but I would agree that Miyoko's, of all the national products, is probably the best one. Plus, I just love her.
Yeah. Oh, it's Laura says, would love to visit Strong Hearts Cafe maybe this summer. That would be cool. Oh, your family's in Cooperstown. It's a couple-hour drive. Is it hard to not eat for non-vegan? Oh, I get it. I see. Normal vegans look younger than their biological age. I guess some. Francie says, vegan deli meats are never fatty or salty enough. Vegan deli meats are never fatty or salty enough. How old is the guy next to Chris?
I'm 42.
So he's exactly 1 year younger than me.
1 year and 1 day, right?
Your birthday is 1 day before mine, so you're exactly 364 days older than me, or younger than me. Yes. We always say we're going to have a get-together birthday party at the cafe or something. Crystal almost missed this because of the time difference. Do you ever vape? No, I don't. So the other thing about Joel and I is we're both straight edge. You still straight edge?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just did an interview for Straight Edge Interviews on Instagram. They asked me a bunch of questions, and maybe I'll tell them to go to you next. If you guys don't know what that straight edge is, we don't choose to put any kind of drugs or alcohol in our body. Would you say being an activist in veganism is a daily emotional battle? I mean, I guess that all depends on the individual. It can be. I mean, you know what's going on with the animals. You just got to do your job, and you know. What?
This is just some funny comments.
Which one?
I thought that was your dad, LOL.
That's what he said? Oh, man. No, neither one of us drink alcohol. His hair reminds me of Kelly Osbourne's. What? Good-looking guys. You know, Joel's hair used to be as long as mine at one point. Maybe not that long, but pretty long, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was, yeah.
I've gone back and forth. Long hair, shaved head, long hair for 25 years.
Here we go. Gone Vegan has a good question. Any wise words for a vegan business beginner?
I mean, that really depends on what your vegan business is, of course, but I would say to always put your ethics first, you know, and whatever you would do in your personal life, try and translate that to your business life as well. And stay vegan and remember why you're vegan and put the best face on for the public that you can and be a good representative of veganism in your business.
So what do we think about like all the big influencers that are saying that that are not vegan anymore? Some of them are anti-vegan even, and they're saying that you can't be vegan long term. Well, Joel and I are both here to prove that we're both longtime vegans, 50 years between us, and actually more than 50 years between us, and here we are living our lives healthy. I mean, if you guys have any questions, we're living proof that it can be done. We're both strict vegans and ethical vegans as well. And I think it's horrible. I don't usually call people out, but what they're doing is they're influencing other people, And, for somebody that might not know anything about veganism, watching some of these videos, it might look like they're making good points there. But I could say all those same points and refer them to being vegan. So, let's see. Promoting with plant-based. What are good fats in a vegan diet? All of them. I don't know about you. I don't really I don't restrict or count. So the one things that I took out of my diet pretty much were oils, but good fats would be like nuts, avocados, and I know I said no to those for the Esselstyn diet, but remember the Esselstyn diet was for people that are serious health issues, like trying to reverse heart disease and stuff like that. But for a normal, healthy person, you wouldn't have to restrict seeds and nuts and avocados and stuff like that. But it's a good thing not to use too much oils. For me personally, I found, so I just kind of stopped cooking altogether with oil. I don't know about you, Joel. What do you think about that?
I don't restrict anything, honestly. I'm an athlete, so I run.
That's right.
Long distances, so I
almost forgot about that.
Try and fuel up properly, and I don't restrict food. I don't count calories. I don't worry about carbs or protein. I just try to eat a wide variety of things. Honestly, I love vegan junk food. At the same time, I love fresh fruits and vegetables. Yeah. I just try to keep balance. A wide variety of things in my diet.
So that's the other thing. Yeah, so neither one of us, I'll eat what I want to eat, but I definitely balance out, and I try to be more concerned about what I do eat. I cut out hydrogenated oils and stuff years and years ago. And if there's an alternative, I got those vegan cut snack box, so we got a vegan Rob cheddar puff right there. If we want junk food, we have it, but I don't overdo it. Just kind of like you. Have you had your blood tested at all ever?
I get a physical every year, and it's always perfect. I mean, I'm not bragging or anything, but it's just nothing's ever deficient. I'm never under. I'm never over. It's always right in the middle.
That's cool. So yeah, that just goes to show that you can do it. And you don't take supplements or vitamins, or do you?
Not at all.
Yeah, I never did for 23 years, and then I just decided vitamin D, which also has the one I take has a B12 in it as well. And so I can't hurt to take a vitamin B12 or vitamin D, especially living here in Syracuse we don't get a lot of sun.
If I start to feel a little sick or a little down, I'm starting to come down with something, then I'll take some vitamins, but that's literally the only time.
Okay, yeah. So you don't really do medicine either then?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I never really need it, right. So.
Yeah, that's how I am. I never get sick, and I haven't taken any pain medicine in 30 years. And I really don't want to put medicine in my body unless it's a life or death. Then obviously I'll take medicine because I don't want to die. But the other thing, I forgot. You started the Strong Hearts Vegan Power running team.
Yep. Which
started out as a fun thing with a bunch of friends, but then we got a more of a elite team.
Yep.
And I have videos of all of that, and it's such a great experience. Amazing, really. And the vegan runners showed all the naysayers, because you see our vegan shirts as we're running, and then everybody else is kind of, because it's a bunch of runners all over the country, all over the world come here, and they run 200 miles relay.
Yep.
And we have two vans. So I was a driver in one of the vans. Joel called me up and said, "Hey, you want to be a driver for our running team? We're a shorter driver." So I'm like, "Sure, I'll do it." One of the most incredible experiences of my life. So I was with the A team, which was the elite team, and our team together just slowly but surely over the next 24 hours passed all the other teams, and they came in second or third place out of every single team there. It was amazing.
Yeah, we've had teams come in first out of 300 teams.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We have some very elite athletes on our team that really put a positive spin and a positive face on ethical veganism. And our runners, they're ethically vegan first. They're vegan for the animals.
Every runner is a vegan, yes.
They appreciate, like I said earlier, they appreciate the health benefits, but they're vegan for the animals. And it's such a positive, powerful message to the other athletes that we're competing with and against, that they can achieve the performance that omnivores can, if not even better, on a vegan diet. That's a powerful testimony that they're seeing right before their eyes.
And I noticed that they were, at the beginning getting a lot of insults like, oh, you're vegans, I'm going to eat some bacon, But then at the end, they gained, like our team gained the respect of everybody. And people are like, wow, like, maybe I'm going to look into veganism. You guys really, have energy and know what you're doing. And so, yeah, it's just like the athletic abilities of the runners just kind of spoke for themselves. And then at the end of the fundraiser for that, it all goes to a farm sanctuary of the choice at the time.
Yep.
So,
for the last 2 years, all the money that we raise for the race goes to Tamerlane Farm Animal Sanctuary in Montague, New Jersey.
That's correct. Yeah. And then and if you guys are wondering, I did a couple of videos down there with Peter, but they have a new place now. I haven't been in the new one. Somebody says, Melissa wants to know what our thoughts are on soy. Kind of worried eating too much soy. So my thoughts on soy are the same as Dr. Greger, and soy is actually, it's good for you. And it doesn't have things like estrogen. It's got phytoestrogen, which is different. So it's not going to do what a lot of people think. It's not going to give you man boobs and stuff like that. But what really does have estrogen in it are meat and dairy. Those are the things that actually do have estrogen. So it's funny when a meat eater says, oh, you're eating soy, you're getting a lot of estrogen, you're intaking it. So, but as long as it's not highly processed or isolated soy and stuff like that, so you're eating tempeh and soybeans, edamame, tofu, it's good for you. And I've been eating a lot of soy for the last 30 years. I'm sure you probably have too.
I've eaten soy almost every day for the
Same
last
here.
26 years.
Same here.
Like, I've never been healthier.
So here you go. You guys can listen to what everybody else says, or you can listen to two guys that have been vegan for over a quarter of a century each, and we've eaten soy pretty much every day of our lives.
The whole soy is bad for you thing has been just disproven.
It is, yeah.
Scientifically and medically disproven many, many, many times. Sure, too much of any one thing is probably bad for you, but soy is not going to make you sick unless you're allergic to it.
My brother says I'd be interested in running for the team. Hit us up.
Nice.
Soy milk for the win. My favorite milk nowadays is the Oatly oat milk.
Oh, that's so good.
So good. I do use Mad Hippie skincare, but I haven't really been using it lately. I need to get a refill of one of the essentials, or not essentials, but one of the oils. We're trying to answer, there's a lot of questions coming up. We're trying to answer what we can. So if we didn't get to your question, go ahead and ask again. We'll try to do what we can here. Are you guys religious at all? Dan wants to know. I don't know if you want to answer that. Personally, I'm not.
I'm also not religious.
I was brought up religious.
Same.
Oh yeah, Linda. Okay, so I just read an article about a cardiothoracic surgeon who's 98 years old, 98-year-old vegan, and he stopped practicing when he was 95. Yeah, I did see that a few years ago, actually. I read that article, or I saw the video for it. It's pretty awesome. And when a surgeon is doing it for that long, that looks at hearts all the time, that they're doing something. I mean, that's the whole thing with Dr. Esselstyn, too. What forms of soy do we eat? I eat tofu. I love tofu, tempeh, edamame. I'm sure I eat things with soy in it, too. A lot of some of the vegan meats out there have soy in it, and I'll eat that every once in a while. But tofu is like a staple for vegans. And I know it's a staple for strong hearts.
I mean, honestly, of any meat alternative, like, I still prefer tofu over anything else.
I just want to add with my question at 6:32. I know you guys are not doctors. We definitely are not doctors. We didn't go that route. I was going to be a doctor, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm too much of a germ freak. I don't think I should be a doctor. So there you go. Instead, I'm a vegan zombie. Oh, the surgeon died after, well, I mean, 100 years old. I mean, it's a long time.
There's another question there about straight edge.
Oh, where are we at?
Just at the very top.
Oh, why straight edge? Any experience ever at any point with drugs of any kind? Oh, Coughlin. Ryan, what's up, man? For me personally, I think I told the story last time, but in a nutshell, it all started from when I was a little kid, and I realized that I was very health conscious when I was 5 or 6 in the carload with my dad, my baby brother, who's watching right now. And we pulled into the gas station. I said, oh, I love the smell of gas. My dad said, don't smell the gas because it kills your brain cells. So immediately I'm like, and I'm not going to smell any more gas. And then, as time went on, like I saw my parents drink alcohol and wine. I'm like, I want some of that. No, you're too young. You can't have that. But when I went to make my first communion, since I was brought up Catholic, it was my turn to drink alcohol. So I'm like, oh, I get to drink some wine. But then I watched the priest drink out of it and kind of everybody else drink out of the same cup. And I'm kind of a germ freak, so I'm like, I'll pass on that. And then again, as time went on, my parents were a good parent. They didn't let me have alcohol or drink any of that stuff. So, and I didn't get into it at any point. So when I was in 7th grade, I was in health class, and they showed us a good liver and then a liver with cirrhosis of the liver, same with the lungs and smoker's lung. And I said to myself, like, I understand that they drink a lot of alcohol to get to that point, but I don't, if that's how it's going to be, I don't want any. And then when I was 14, I was introduced through skateboarding and hanging out with friends, through the term straight edge. And as soon as I found out what that was, I'm like, hey, that's me. I identified with it, and the rest is history. I've never tasted alcohol. I've never done any drugs, never smoked a cigarette. A little bit of heroin. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing. So I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, my path was a little bit different. Like I said earlier, I grew up out in the country, and smoking and drinking and partying was just like what everyone did. So I got into it at a very young age, 14, 15. But again, when I fell into my group of friends who were vegetarian and into punk rock, and they introduced me to straight edge. So that's how I became straight edge. That's how I was introduced to it, through like the music scene. And I'm glad I found it because I was on a pretty bad path before that. So it just makes sense for me. It's a personal choice. I don't look down on people who smoke or drink or use marijuana. That's fine if it's done responsibly.
Same here.
But that's just not my choice. That's not how I choose to live my life.
And that brings us to this question. Would you date a non-vegan? Do you have non-vegan friends? So I've got a lot of non-vegan friends. I try to, if we hang out, like offer to make food or go to a vegan restaurant or something like that. But yeah, I have a lot of non-vegan friends, and I don't really know many other people other than myself and Joel that are straight edge. There's not very many of my friends that are still straight edge to this day. So, and I don't, it doesn't bother me. My friends, my family are not straight edge, so it doesn't offend me or anything. What about you?
I would say I'm in the same boat. A lot of my friends are not vegan or not straight edge. And it's never an issue because I've been doing those things for so long. They just know it's a part of me, and they respect it, and it's just never an issue.
Exactly the same here. And you guys can't see because it's all washed out, but it is snowing pretty hard here in Syracuse because, hey, we live in Syracuse. Yesterday was almost 70, and today it's 30. And that's how our weather. There are straight edge bands, and that's how a lot of people got. Syracuse is one of the melting pots for straight edge. A lot of straight edge happened here. One of the biggest bands for straight edge that people think of is Earth Crisis, and they're also from Syracuse, New York. And the first show that I went to here was a Shelter 108 show way back in the day. And that's how I met a lot of straight edge, hardcore vegan people. And I think you the same time. You the same thing. And it's funny because we're like the same age. We had the same friends. We did, and I didn't even really meet him until a few years ago. Yeah. But we have videos. If you guys haven't seen our videos, one of his really popular items at his restaurant is in my cookbook, and he's one of the only places where we sold my cookbook. One of the only cafes around that sold my cookbook, and we have videos that we've done at Strong Hearts. Mm-hmm. Really cool videos, like whole entire day of production where we had zombies, makeup, and we used the entire building. We were up on the roof of the building at like 4 a.m. It was really fun.
Yeah, we had to shoot after midnight because that's when the cafe closed. I
Yep.
remember. Yeah.
The cafe closed and we all just started making a zombie movie. And you can check that out. It's called The Egg Trick Muffin. And we did another one too somewhere. But yeah, got to do another one of those sometime.
That's a good question by Heaven Wonder.
If you were at dinner with your non-vegan friends and they were to order meat or fish in front of you at the same time, does it upset you? You know, it depends where we go, and if I'm like going out with people, I mean, obviously I don't like to see it because in my brain, I don't see food there. I know where it came from. But yeah, I mean, it's happened. I've gone out to dinner with family or friends, and you know, I'm ordering the vegan version, but as I get older, I don't know. It's like if I were to invite family or anybody over to my house, like everything would be vegan, and there'd be really no reason not to. Like the food's great, and if you don't want to be, if you're not going to do it 24/7, then at least do it for like an hour that you're hanging out with me. But yeah, I've done it. Yeah, it happens. It's socializing with people, you know. Joel?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that while you were speaking, and I am very, very rarely in those situations where I'm eating at the same table as someone who's eating animals. Just a lot of my social circle share the same values as me. But when it does happen, I don't get offended. Sure, it's not my most favorite thing in the world, you know, but I try to keep things in perspective and try to be the positive ambassador for veganism at all times, and I try not to shame people or make people feel guilty. I just try to lead by example. That's how I handle those situations.
Like, exactly. Like, I was saying in my last live stream, it took me 29 years. 29 years ago, I went vegetarian. And 29 years to get my parents to finally, last November, have an all-vegan Thanksgiving. Because, you know, whereas the last 10 to 15 years, it was like a 99% vegan, but then they would also have a little bit of turkey for my relatives that are not vegan. And this year, or last November, was the first ever. So if you just stick with it, I mean, it took a long time. That's 30 years. But finally, everyone, including my father, was eating vegan. And I have a video for it if you want to see that happen. But yeah. Somebody wanted to know if coffee is considered straight edge. Yeah, coffee is, I mean, some people go to the extreme to not drink coffee, but I would say that, yeah, coffee is considered straight edge. I mean, caffeine is a drug, but personally, I've never tasted coffee and I don't drink coffee, but I wouldn't consider it not straight edge. I don't know.
I love coffee.
Yeah,
I drink coffee
so
every day.
It's not like you're injecting coffee into your veins.
And you're not doing it with the intent of getting intoxicated or losing control of anything. I just like the way coffee tastes.
Thoughts on vegans eating oysters? I don't know about you, but personally, I go to the next. I have my own personal definition on top of Donald Watson's definition of veganism, but I would say that it's not vegan because it's still an animal. It's still made up of animal cells, and if it's not made up of plant cells, then I'm not going to eat it. And I know that there's the argument that they're not sentient. But that'd be the same thing as like lab-grown meat. It would be cruelty-free. We could finally get to the point where it would be cruelty-free, and I think it's doing a lot. It's a lot better for the industry if animals aren't brought into this world and suffering like they are now. If we could do lab-grown meat, I think that would be great for like stuff like pet food, cat food, stuff like that. But do I consider it vegan? Absolutely not. I wouldn't. It's still animal cells. You probably have the same.
Yeah, I mean, I don't consider eating oysters vegan. I wouldn't do it. I haven't done it. Whether they're sentient or not, as you said, they're still animals. And, people don't really know if they're sentient or not. That's just like the general opinion. So, and they're just so easy to avoid. It's so easy not to eat oysters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't ever have the need to eat oysters.
People try to say that you need. See, here's what I don't understand. Like, if something ever goes wrong, they you need to it's because you're vegan. It's because your vegan diet. It's like, what would you what do you think that eating meat or dairy would do for me that all the plants and vegan anything I would consume that would be in the vegan realm would not be able to do for me? Obviously, Joel and I have showed you guys that it's definitely doable and achievable. And I don't think either one of us were like ever, I mean, we definitely weren't counting calories or, being very restrictive with our diets or trying to be crazy healthy. But yet both of us, see, that's the thing. Like, I could talk to a 20-year raw vegan who's going to like criticize some of the foods that I'm eating. I won't say any names, but I could sit there and look at that person and say, look, I've been vegan as long as you've been raw vegan, and I haven't been raw vegan, but yet there's no proof that you're healthier than me. So, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, some of these people are torturing themselves by trying to be so restrictive and always be so healthy when, like I made a tofu scramble and people are like, oh, that's, you're eating a breakfast pizza that I made myself, and in the whole realm of things, there's a process to it, but it's really pretty healthy.
I think the people that nitpick over every little macronutrient and every little gram of protein and carbs, I mean, veganism is probably not their real issue. There's probably other issues in their lives that are coming out in their criticism of veganism. That's my opinion. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. That's just my opinion as someone who's been vegan for 26 years.
August, the only thing that veganism doesn't do for us is give us cholesterol or saturated fat. Well, there is saturated fat. Coconut oil is 87% saturated fat. But you're right. There's nothing that has cholesterol in it, but we don't need that because when I went and I had a little bit higher cholesterol when I went. So that's why I took the oils out of my diet. Because even as a vegan, you can get high cholesterol. So you do have to like look at, at least some people do. Some people don't have that problem. But genetically, if you're predisposed to it, and then you're eating things like this. That's why I went on the Esselstyn diet to see if that could, because I refused to take any kind of medicine. And my cholesterol wasn't dangerously high. It was actually in the normal percentage for the standard American, but I wanted it more in like the vegan percentage. So I took out oils from my diet. So don't think that you can't get cholesterol from a vegan diet. It doesn't have cholesterol in it, but your body makes your own cholesterol. So we have Indy over here sniffing around. Indy the pup. And yes, Nikki, Dr. Greger has some awesome videos. If you guys are wondering anything scientifically health-wise, Dr. Greger has a great channel for that on nutritionfacts.org. And he's got the Daily Dozen app so you can see what you're getting, what you need, what you don't need, stuff like that. Any more questions here? We got almost 300 people watching right now. Hey, smash that thumbs up. That'll help us out with the video. And how to go vegan and stay vegan. If anybody has a better idea for a title for this video, let me know and we might change it.
There's a good question by August.
August says, how would you react if someone came into your restaurant wearing fur? I was at a vegan joint and a couple of people walked in wearing Canada Goose jackets. Irked me. Issa had that. Go ahead and say what you said, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that happens all the time, Sure, it's disturbing. You don't like to see dead animal skins. But people walk into restaurants wearing leather all the time, So what's really the difference? Sure, fur is a vanity product and totally unnecessary, but honestly, so is leather. And many, many people come into both locations at the cafe and they're wearing Canada Goose. And it sucks, but you know what? At least they're there. At least they're supporting a vegan business and they're eating vegan food. So, I as much as I hate to see it, I also realize that maybe that's the first step. Maybe they're trying vegan food for the first time. So I try to see the positive in it and don't really dwell too much on the negative.
Yeah, I agree with you because, like, what's the alternative? You're going to, like, berate them right there. They're never going to want to come back, and then they are totally turned off to veganism forever. So Yeah, I agree with you right there. Q&A with longtime vegans. I could put that right at the end. How to go vegan, stay vegan. Q&A with longtime vegans. Please talk about veganism and diabetes. That would be something that I would say go to Dr. Greger. Go to Dr. Greger's channel for that. And Esselstyn, Dr. Esselstyn's, I forget her name, but his wife has a really good video explanation to show you exactly how diabetes work, and by eliminating meat and dairy, how you can reverse that. So I would go over to them because I'm not the expert, but I do know I don't have diabetes.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I don't feel comfortable giving medical advice.
Yeah.
August had a follow-up right there.
What would you say? As a business owner, are you able to maybe advocate a bit and let them know that there's faux fur and other options?
So just to answer that real quick, at our university location near Syracuse University, where most of the Canada Goose stuff comes in, we do have anti-Canada Goose literature on the counter. So again, we don't force people to take it, but the message is clear. The message is we're a vegan cafe, and what you're wearing is especially cruel and inhumane. So we don't have to say anything. The information's right there for the customers if they choose to take it.
Sunkiss says, is omega DHA necessary supplement to take as a vegan? If so, which supplement would you recommend? The only supplement that is necessary as a vegan that you would have to extra supplement is like B12 and vitamin D, which comes from the sun. But there's a lot of things like a lot of plant-based milks, which is why probably the reason that we never had to take vitamins was because a lot of the plant-based milks are fortified with B12, vitamin D, that kind of thing. As for omegas, you can get omegas in things like flax seeds and walnuts. I actually use flaxseed every day, and Dr. Greger recommends taking 2 tablespoons per day, and that's something that you can put in a salad. I put it in my smoothie every morning. But that's also, I do have a link below because I did find some really cool vitamins. And so omegas, and then there's a D3 and a B12. And
nutritional yeast also is heavily fortified with B12.
B12, yeah. So if you're going to use nutritional yeast and you're going to make something like, throw it on your salad, put it in your tofu scramble at the end of the scramble because it is sensitive to cooking out. So do it near the end and then eat it. It's also good. It makes the dish a lot more of a cheesy flavor. The other question here is, like the hat, Chris, where'd you get it? Beyond Meat gave me this at the expo. No, they're not paying me to wear this hat. I just, out of all the hats, I like it the best. Can you guys say how old you are? We already did. He's 42 and I'm 43. Fraser Valley Vegan, longtime vegan here, 20 years. Congrats. Oh, yeah, and Gone Vegan says Dr. Neil Bernard is also another one that's great for the diabetes talk.
He's amazing. He's a great resource.
Are my parents still religious? My parents are still religious. All I hear about is the health talk. If you're really vegan, you should be volunteering. Volunteering? I'm not sure I get the question, unless you're responding to someone else. I say a lot that veganism is not about the health, but it's a great benefit because generally people see an improvement in their health, which I personally did when I went vegan. Graven Baby says, I live in Florida. My husband is D deficient. So a lot of people, vegan or not, are deficient in vitamin D, and that's from lack of sunlight. You need to get enough exposure to the sun so your body can make the vitamin D. Up here, we don't have a direct sunlight like people would have in like Arizona. But also, so if you really break that down and think about it, we also live in Syracuse where it's really cold. So that doesn't mean that we don't go outside. That means when we go outside, we're dressed like this, long sleeves, hats. I mean, we're not like fully absorbing the sun all day, every day. So also, I'm kind of a vampire. I only go out at night. But that would definitely do it for me. I don't know if you were good in vitamin D or not, but
yeah, I was fine.
Another live chat. Here we are.
There was maybe you want to answer this question too. There was a question about Impossible.
Oh, I didn't know if you knew about it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Impossible?
So
do you know what happened, by the way?
Yeah, I'm up to speed on what happened. I have eaten the Impossible Burger twice. Taste-wise, I prefer the Beyond Burger by Beyond Meat. The cafe that I co-own, we don't serve the Impossible, and we never will. I just think if there's alternatives out there like the Beyond Burger, that's in my opinion better and more ethical, then why wouldn't you make that choice? So that's my opinion. I realize we don't live in a perfect world that's vegan right now, and sometimes hard choices have to be made for the greater good of humanity and animals. I don't really want to get into that right now, but there are better companies to support out there, so that's what I choose to do.
I think I wasn't going to, but with what happened after my last videos, I think I might do one more video on the Impossible Burger, but we'll talk about that later. So Beth wants to know what have we done for animals? All right, so I guess real quick, for me, I mean, Joel's already talked about some of them, but the Sea Shepherd, all that. For me, I would say the best thing that I've ever been able to do is my platform right here, the Vegan Zombie. I've reached thousands of people. I've had literally thousands of people over the last 10 years email me saying I helped them go vegan. That helps them. That helps the animals. I've done several fundraisers. I've gone to several different fundraisers. I'm part of the Mockingbird Farm Sanctuary, which are for animals like the ones that we're trying to do. As far as this goes, like all kinds of things. I've had animals get adopted for forever homes because of the Vegan Zombie channel. I've done a lot for animals, and for you.
I mean,
you don't. Oh, to answer somebody else's question, Joel does not have a YouTube channel, but go ahead.
As far as what I've done for animals, I mean, I've dedicated my entire adult life to saving animals. So
you've actually. I don't know if you wanted.
In addition to working for animal rights groups, I mean not working, but volunteering, and being out in the street and protesting and educating people, the greatest thing that I feel I've done is to open a vegan cafe. I've reached so many more people that way than I ever did with anything I ever did previously. Just showing people that vegan food, it's convenient, it's affordable, it's delicious. It's just as good, if not better, than what they're already eating. So that to me, and again, I've had people come up to me and email us time and time again that said Strong Hearts helped them transition to becoming vegan. And to me, that's a huge win for the animals. I am vegan for the animals. I started the cafe for the animals. I don't know if I can say anything else about that.
Yeah, and that's exactly the exact way you feel about that is how I feel about the YouTube show, The Vegan Zombie. I never made this show to be like a popular YouTuber. I wanted to make zombie movies and promote veganism and make it easier for people. And ever since I started, all of my videos have one theme, and that's to show people that veganism is obtainable and doable and easy. Real quick, Crystal missed the Sea Shepherd talk, so I just want to show her real quick. So this is back to, if you missed the beginning of this. So this is Joel back in, 2004 or 5?
That was 2005.
2005. He's on a little inflatable boat trying to divert a whaling ship, a Japanese one. And this is right in Antarctica, so very cold. And this is what he did. This is the cover of a National Geographic magazine. So So that's one of the things that Joel's done. Oops. And then, did you want to probably not say that, but whatever happened a long time ago before I met you in Atlanta?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just lump that in with grassroots animal rights activism.
Activism.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, yeah, I think that we've done together quite a lot for veganism, and we're both going to continue to do that for animals. What is the name of his vegan cafe? It's called Strong Hearts Cafe. He's actually wearing one of the shirts right now. Several different shirts. Actually, I'm wearing your shirt in that the Straight Edge interview I did.
Nice.
Other than going vegan, what are the most effective ways to help animals? It would be to go vegan. That would be the most effective way to help animals, because it's kind of hypocritical to help animals when you're eating animals. I mean, when you really think about it, it's like you're helping some, but you're not. You're partaking in like the suffering of others. So the best thing to do is go vegan.
I would add, just, in addition to being vegan, is to educate others. And to do that, you have to educate yourself. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to be educated. You have to be able to articulate your arguments in a very reasonable way. So I think that gets lost a lot of times. People get emotional and they start saying things that maybe aren't true. Educate yourself so you can educate others.
Yeah.
Advocate for animals in a smart, intelligent, and passionate way.
Because you'll have people confront you and try to argue with you, and maybe you don't know. I mean, we didn't know when we first went vegan. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have Google. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have smartphones. There was really no. So I can say I didn't go vegan for my health because I was told that I was going to. My health was going to suffer if I did it. So I took a leap of faith and did it anyway. And to what happened to me was I felt better. And it's literally the single best decision I ever made at the time, not knowing that I was making that decision. It brought me to where I am now, and all of the other decisions came because of that decision.
Just touching base on something you had said a few minutes back about being vegan in the 90s, like, you didn't do it to be cool, because it was very uncool. Like, you were like an outcast, you were like a nerd, you were stupid, you were a dork. It's very different now. Now it's trendy, now it's hip, now it's cool. Back then, it's like you were immediately shunned. Like, no one wanted to hang out with you. You were a buzzkill. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah, go graze in the field,
If you were vegan 25 years ago, it was because you really meant it and you really believed in it, not because you were following some fad or trend, because there was no fad or trend.
Well, that's what my next question was, or not I was going to address. I've seen some people saying that it's just another fad, and I want to say that people are saying things like this because it's finally gone mainstream. And to see it from where it was when we went vegan, it was nobody even heard of the name vegan, to where it is now. Of course, people are going to knock it and all that stuff because it's mainstream. There's more people that are being exposed to it. But I can say honestly, and I've been saying this even when I made the Vegan Zombie channel, that veganism is only going to get bigger and bigger, and it has, because it's not a fad. It's not one of those fad diets. It's not a diet. It's only, I mean, there's only good reasons to go vegan. There's nothing other. The only thing I can think of that anybody can say is why they don't want to go vegan is they simply don't want to. But other than that, there's all benefits to going vegan. So it's definitely not a fad. Okay, what else we got? Joel must have been so scary. Oh, just John's here. We got John in the chat. What's going on, John? In the middle of nowhere. Are you out at the sanctuary? Oh, yeah. John and I grew up out in the middle of nowhere, too. Bridgeport and Chittenango. We're all doing this together, too. We're all in this, like, as a vegan community. Everybody's doing their own way of doing it. Is there Is there a product or food you discovered that you love that didn't exist back when you first went vegan? All
like
of them.
Everything. Yeah.
When we first went vegan, there was only a few things that were around back then. Follow Your Heart has been around for 40 years. Tofurkey, I think. Actually, I think the first Veganese came out in 95, so came out a couple years after we were vegan. Remember Mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise, yeah.
Oh my God.
It wasn't even refrigerated. It's just like on the shelf.
Yeah. They also. Do you remember Wheat Balls?
Yep.
Wheat Balls. So yeah, there was only a few things back then, but now, I mean, the vegan cheeses that they have nowadays. Have you tried? I have never tried the Just Egg. Have you?
I have. Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't really taste like eggs to me, but then again, haven't eaten an egg in 26 years. So
is it?
It's
texture.
The thing that I like about it, the texture does remind me of eggs, and it's super convenient to use. Like, you literally just squirt it in the pan and fry it, so it's very easy to use. But taste-wise, I wasn't wild about it.
Yeah, Tofutti. I used to like go skateboarding and then go to Wegmans and grab a thing of Tofutti cuties and just get sick.
There was one comment up above.
Harvest Burgers, my brother. Yeah, Harvest Burgers are what we always ate. And you always say like, oh, they weren't as good as you thought. Yeah. But man, I would love to have a Harvest Burger. They don't exist anymore.
That's all nostalgia on your part, man.
Man,
what we have nowadays blows that stuff out of the water.
I still want one. What were you saying?
There was a comment up above about it was like highlighted. It was in like a gray box.
Oh, this?
Yeah, that one. So I just wanted to comment on that.
Next time tech.
Yeah, it says staying vegan forever, even if I'm the only vegan in the world. That is like the exact right mentality to have, because the ethics of veganism will never change. It's always going to be what it is. It's always going to be the truth, no matter what vegan YouTuber or celebrity falls off the wagon and starts eating animals again. That shouldn't matter to you whatsoever. Because the truth is the truth. You never have to doctor it. You never have to look up to anybody for it. It's always going to be the truth. So that mentality is like exactly the way I think too.
Yeah, same here. And I wanted to like piggyback on that because a lot of those YouTubers were saying, they all say the same thing for health reasons. And I just wanted to come in and show you guys, look, they're saying all these things about health and they've only been vegan for like 2 to 5 years, but they're doing things to their own health. So here we are, like we're not like trying our hardest like every day to eat these incredibly healthy. Oh my God, I ate something processed. What am I gonna do? No, we just eat, and we try to eat healthy. But the fact is we've been vegan all these years and we don't have health problems. 25 years each. I mean, it's crazy. So for them to say what they're saying, and then I had to come in here and let you guys know that. He's not the only guy that I know that's been vegan this long. We know a lot of people that have been vegan for a long time, 20 plus year vegans that are completely fine. You can't say that we're not healthy, People love to say that in my videos and stuff. And I'm not always eating everything that I cook. I'm making videos to make it easier. If I'm just, hey guys, here's my apple, here's my banana, who's going to watch that video? I'm trying to make recipes so people can go vegan and say, all right, cool, that's what I'm going to make, instead of making the non-vegan version. So I hate when I end a sentence with so.
It's hard to keep up with the comments. There's so many of them.
Fraser Valley is thriving at 46. We got another 20 plus year vegan there. We got Indy over there licking the floor. Violife cheese is amazing too. Violife makes chow and follow your heart. What did I just say? Read a couple. These questions are going pretty fast, but I like it. It's better than having just one person in the chat.
I like that.
This one?
That comment by Lee right there.
Okay, Lee says, those that say vegan is hard are only thinking of themselves. Those that say it's easy are thinking of the victims.
I mean, you said it perfectly, Lee. It's not a personal choice. It's not a personal choice for those animals who are suffering for your momentary pleasure of eating their flesh. It's so easy to be vegan if you're just vegan for the animals, and keep that first and foremost in your mind.
It's easy. Like I said in other videos, it's like you got to eat. So what are you going to eat? Anything that doesn't consist of animal products. And believe me, like, if you were, I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but if all of a sudden somebody said if you ate an animal product now, you will get poisoned and dies. Like, if you knew that mentality, then you'd be pretty resourceful, and you would be able to still eat a lot of things that were just from plants, right? So that's the way I look at it. Animal products are not food, so it leaves us with everything else. When you have that mentality, it's not a challenge. It's not hard. It's just you wake up, like I'm sure you wake up and you're like, oh man, what am I gonna eat today? But never is it gonna be vegan or is it not gonna be. It's just like, am I gonna make a smoothie or am I gonna make some? I don't know. Like, it's always gonna be vegan, and I've never felt like I've gone without. When people say, what's the one thing that you miss? Personally, for me, I don't miss anything. I'm very happy with what I can eat. So I think there's a big stigma there about veganism being bland and not good, and you're not getting your protein. I mean, to this day, I still hear people saying, well, what are we going to do about the protein? Just eat. The only way you're going to be protein deficient is if you starve yourself.
Most people think veganism is restrictive, like you can't eat this, you can't eat that, which, I don't agree with, because I choose not to eat those things. But I think if you were to look at a vegan diet versus like an omnivore's diet, the varieties of foods that vegans eat, I'm sure you'd see that vegans, on average, eat a much wider variety of foods than omnivores who are stuck eating the same 10 things, like burgers and chicken fingers and all that stuff. So at least that's my personal experience. Like, when I went vegan, I started eating Mediterranean food and Mexican food because there were so many options. Did you want me to answer that?
If you want.
Yeah, so there's a question here. How do you react when Curtis Lepore, whom, if I remember correctly, worked at Strong Hearts, started to endorse jerky sticks? So Curtis is from Syracuse, and he was a loyal customer at the cafe for a long time.
For those of you that don't know, Curtis is like a huge, he was a Vine star and now a YouTube star with like 4 million followers or something.
Right. So Curtis kind of ran in the same circles as Chris and I did in like the hardcore punk rock music scene. And technically he never worked for Strong Hearts. He would just come in and help us wash dishes and things like that. So I react the same way I would anybody else who was vegan and no longer is. It's a shame. It hurts my heart. It's disappointing. And I just hope that one day he realizes that's not the right choice. So that's how I would react to it.
Laura says 48 and vegan for 6 years, and it feels great. Wish I had done it sooner, but just happy I made the change. And she rocks the vegan zombie shirts pretty good too.
Nice.
Do you wear leather belts or shoes? No leather. In fact, I don't think I have anything in this house is animal products at all. My shoes are all vegan. My belts are leather. The funny thing about my belt is, so this belt, it's like 6 years old now. So it's kind of like, but it's very leather looking. I was in Germany for my book tour when I came out with my cookbook, and we were in Solingen. I probably said that wrong. Solingen. And there was a vendor across from me, and he came up to me and he's like, hey, tell Joel from Strong Hearts I said hi. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm in a small town in Germany, and this vendor across from me says he knows you. And I don't remember who he was, but he's the one that sold me the belt, and I'm wearing it right now.
I never heard that story.
I wish I could remember. John remembers. He was there. I was so sleep deprived at that point. I was a real zombie. Okay, so no, we don't wear any animal products whatsoever. No wool, nothing. Indy is made out. The only fur I wear is Indy's tail. I put it on my. No, just kidding. John says Indy is made out of animals. So, yeah, John. By the way, for all of you that wonder where John went, he's in the chat right now, and he's got his own channel. So you guys should go subscribe to him and check out his videos now. I think he's working in the garden now. I'm going to do some gardening. Strong Heart shirt is very cool. He's got a bunch of really cool Strong Heart shirts, and you got hoodies and beanies and stuff like that. You have a website too, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think this shirt is available online, but we have many other shirts online.
Cool. Hello from down in Saratoga Springs, Red Kitty Cat.
Love Saratoga Springs.
Yep.
There's like a independent Whole Foods type place called Healthy Living that is incredible. I love that place.
What is Indy? Indy's a pup. He's laying on the floor being lazy right now, but he's 120 now. 120-pound German Shepherd. Indiana Jones. That's right. They named the dog Indy.
Joel needs a channel. I definitely don't need a channel. This is not my world. This is Chris's world. I'm happy to come in here every now and then, but as a business owner and a person who runs and trains and does that kind of stuff, I don't have time for this, but I'm happy to come in every once in a while and give my
opinion. Yeah, you don't even live here anymore. I called you up and said, hey, next time you're in town, come on over and we'll do this video.
Yeah, I relocated to the New York City area, and I'm back in Syracuse quite often for business stuff. So
well, yeah, you own a restaurant here and you're down, you're closer to Tamerlane?
I'm about an hour from Tamerlane as opposed to 3 hours here in Syracuse.
Okay. Laura wants to know, when you first went vegan, how did you transition to fully vegan, meaning changing everything from wardrobe to skincare, etc.? Wow, that was a quarter of a century ago. I think I just started, buying new things. Like if I had leather shoes, I was a skateboarder. I still am, but so my shoes went pretty fast. When you're a skateboarder, your shoes get worn out. So I remember having leather shoes, and then the next time I had to buy shoes, I just got like a canvas kind that were vegan. And then DC came out with a lot of vegan shoes at the time, so I did that. And then my belts at that time were already vegan because I wore those what are they, the cloth ones that you like kind of like pull the thing over?
The canvas ones?
Yeah. So that's what I wore for that. And then it wasn't really hard for me to transition because I went vegan when I still lived with my parents. And then shortly after that, I ended up making, I moved down to Sarasota, Florida with my friends. And from then on in, like most of my stuff that I owned, meaning everything I accumulated as a kid, stayed at my parents' house. But I would say for people, if you have the money, then go out and just buy new stuff and donate the rest of them. If you don't, then wear it until you have enough. Like some guy asked me once that he's vegan and he needed steel toe boots for work, but the steel toe boots that were vegan were way too expensive. And I said, well, you know what? If you need to get steel toe boots, go to like a Goodwill or something like that, or a Salvation Army. Buy a used pair, because now it's not going back into supply and demand. So they're going to need to, make more of that stuff. And then use them until you make enough money to get vegan ones, and then take those ones and then donate them, or give them to the homeless, or do something like that. There's so many things you can do, but that doesn't mean if you don't have the money, like get rid of your couch, get rid of everything immediately. But eventually, yeah, like that would be a process that you would have to do.
I mean, for me, I just slowly phase things out.
Yeah.
I didn't make a decision and I wasn't vegan one day and was vegan the next. It was like a 6-month process, and I guess my advice for people now today is don't obsess about it. Just don't freak out. Just do your best. You're not going to be perfect, but just start. Just start doing it. Start phasing things out. Like you said, buy new products. And if you have a leather belt or leather shoes, don't freak out. Just don't buy new ones when those wear out. It's really that easy. Nobody's perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We're all human beings. We're allowed to make mistakes. But the key is to start, to have a plan, and just gradually make your life vegan. That's really all I can say.
See you later, Crystal. Crystal had to leave. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I agree with you. Same thing. What do you feed your pet dog, cats? I only have a dog, and I feed Indy a premium vegan dog food called V-Dog. It is hypoallergenic, and it has helped him the most over the years than any other food that he's ever had. If you guys are interested, new customers can use coupon code ZOMBIEDOG and you can save on your first purchase. I highly recommend it. No, I don't get paid for saying that, but I want your guys puppies and dogs to be healthy and happy, and I really highly recommend this dog food. A lot of people think that dogs can't be vegan, and that's just not true. All of his vets say he's perfectly fine. He's perfectly healthy. And Indy had parvo when I got him, so it destroyed a lot of his digestive system, so he was not doing well. But some of his favorite foods now, like I'll bake up a sweet potato. I'll cook up a sweet potato and put that on his food for his breakfast. And his favorite, if he could choose between anything for a snack, it's a nice carrot.
There was a comment up there by Ruby Soho, if you want to scroll up.
All right, I'll say Ruby Soho, destination unknown.
Yeah, nice rancid reference there.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Any advice for dealing with coworkers who make unsolicited comments about your vegan meals? For example, commenting on how soy sauce causes cancer. So those are people that are just going to be nitpicky on. I've had coworkers like that over the years where it's something different than they're expecting. They're not vegan, so they're just going to like sit there and try to. I mean, you could do a little bit of education, get educated, and find, like the meat and the dairy are what actually are causing the cancer. Processed meats and red meats are actually, studies show that those actually do cause cancer. They're carcinogens. But I would say, try making some meals. Try making some. Usually baked goods do well. Bring them in and share them. Make a discussion and share them. Say, look, it's not that bad if you just try it. And, oh, wow, it's delicious. You really can't tell the difference between a cupcake that has egg in it and a cupcake that doesn't.
Just to address your specific claim that one of your coworkers said that soy causes cancer, that's just ridiculous.
Did they say soy or soy sauce?
I think she said soy causes cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, that claim is ridiculous and it's untrue. Scientifically and medically been proven to be untrue. But you have to just remain calm and realize that the reason that person's probably saying those things to you is because they may feel guilty about the way they're eating, or they interpret your vegan diet as somehow shaming them and making them feel guilty. So that's why they say negative things, to tear you down, to build themselves up. So don't fall into that trap. Just remain calm. And again, like I said earlier, educate yourself and have true responses to come back to these people with. But overall, just remain calm. Don't take it personally. Don't feel attacked, even though it's very difficult. And just keep a level head.
Yeah, and check out like Dr. Greger has a great video debunking soy causing cancer and stuff like that. My brother says, thanks, bro. You put Macy to sleep. So this video put my little niece to sleep. She likes to watch Uncle Chris. And what was the other thing? Favorite zombie films? Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later, Shaun of the Dead. I like zombie movies.
There was one recent one, a Korean one called Train to Busan.
Yep.
I think that's the name of it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Amazing. So good.
Saw that last year. Yeah. All right, what else? We have a lot of questions. Sorry to anybody that we missed your question. It's not on purpose. I wonder if Ryan's going to be chatting today. He'll answer my question, says Josh. Are we talking about Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan? Great advice. Wait, what's this? The Walking Dead marathon on AMC right now, season finale. I'm not caught up on The Walking Dead, so I can't watch that. And also, I don't have cable TV. Thank you for answering my question. Missy says my rabbit is sitting in my lap watching us. Hi, rabbit. Do you like Hot Fuzz? I didn't really like Hot Fuzz. I liked Shaun of the Dead, though. A lot. Crazy Sexy Sam says, hi, guys. Chris, I'm a huge fan since going vegan in August 17. I want your hoodie. Hey Joel, love your shirt and tattoos. Vegan for life. Heck yeah.
Thank you. Answer that next question.
Do you believe in aliens or ETs? I want to believe. Yeah. Next time tech. Midwife for life says we inherited another guinea pig yesterday. Is VDog only available online, says Leah. As far as I know, it's online through their website, but there's a few places that carry it, but they're like specialty stores, vegan stores, stuff like that. Not that I know of off the top of my head. Probably, I think, Rabbit Food Grocery and a couple other ones. Thoughts on John Joseph? What about him? Other than hardcore vegan, he's been doing some videos online, cooking videos and stuff.
Yeah, I can talk about that real quick. So for those who don't know, John Joseph is the singer of a band called the Cro-Mags, who started off in the 80s, very influential in the punk rock, hardcore music scene. And John Joseph has been vegan, plant-based, whatever you want to call it, for a very long time. And he's from New York City. He's got a very kind of gruff New York City, he kind of talks like this.
We're going to make some lasagna.
Yeah, which honestly isn't my bag, but it does appeal to some people. And I know he's a controversial figure. He's got a book called Meat is for Pussies, which a lot of people have objections to. I think there's a place for that, honestly. It's, again, not something that appeals to me personally, but I know his heart is in the right place, and he's doing it for the right reasons. He's an ethical vegan. So I think it's great. I support it. And I think he reaches a target that you or I probably can't reach.
Definitely. It's good to have vegans in everywhere, every genre. Adam says, carrageenan, thoughts? So from what I know about carrageenan and talking to some actual food scientists and stuff, so carrageenan got a really bad name because of the milk industry, the dairy industry, trying to kind of make it look like it's the same as like a carcinogen, but carrageenan, it's a seaweed, it's an algae. And so the negative thing that it got was, if you really look at the studies, from what I remember, this is off my memory, it was studies when it was ground up to dust and inhaling it, going into your lungs through the tests that were showing bad results, not ingesting it. So I think it's got, they did a big scare tactic to the dairy industry. I've never had a problem with it. The guy that actually, he's a vegan business owner. He makes a product out there that a lot of you probably had, and I asked him a little bit about it, and he's like, yeah, that's just all the controversy. There's nothing wrong with it. But because as soon as somebody hears about it, then they start boycotting all those items that have it in it. So he's like, I got to change the formula now because...
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I don't think it's as bad as everybody are saying. I think it's there's nothing wrong with it, to be honest, but... best vegan coffee creamer. I'm going to let you answer that because I don't drink coffee.
I like I don't know how to pronounce it, Califia Farms. Their vanilla creamer is the one I use most often.
They just came out with an oat milk too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Laura has a good question.
Laura says, Laura Mosley, would either of you date someone who is not vegan?
That's a hard no for me. Absolutely not.
For me, it's also a hard no. I have in the past, and I would never date anybody that wasn't vegan. It's just for so many reasons. I never would want to tell anybody what to do, for one. And if I started dating somebody and they decided not to eventually go vegan, well, it's so many problems there. I don't want any kind of meat or dairy in my house, in my refrigerator. I don't. It's not appealing to want to kiss somebody that just ate a chicken sandwich or drank milk from a cow. not from the udder of it, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, no for me too. Also, I don't date. Hottie hot dogs. Hottie hot dogs. Field Roast has some really good hot dogs.
I feel like there's a couple other decent questions up top there.
Yeah, if you see one, just go for it.
Lana Kyle.
Okay, Lana Kyle. How to stay relaxed when being ridiculed or even verbally attacked?
It's tough because that can happen. Of course, family members, coworkers, other friends may attack you for what they see as an ethical decision that's telling them that their decisions are wrong or incorrect or unethical. It takes practice, honestly. You know, when you're being attacked, your natural reaction is to defend yourself, to defend your lifestyle, to defend your beliefs. And that may be appropriate, it may not be. You have to assess the situation and do, honestly, what's best for the animals. And in my experience, always being calm and professional and articulate and educated is the way to be. And that's just something that's going to take practice. Especially if you're a newer vegan, you may not know every single fact and statistic, but eventually you will. And the more comfortable you become and the older you get and the more mature you get, the easier it becomes.
Oh, we got a pup in here. Hi, puppy. I lost what I was going to say now because of my cute dog. Yeah, you know, somebody that is really good at that, if you want to look up James Aspie and watch how he handles those situations, very calm and just, you know, very wealth of information. Like you were saying, get educated, watch some documentaries, look at the reasons why behind everything that you want to know. I mean, because like at the beginning, I didn't know. When I first went vegan, I didn't know, and there wasn't any of these documentaries or literature out there, YouTube. So it's like when somebody confronted me like this, I'm like, I don't know. I feel great, but I don't know what to tell you. So I didn't really get really verbal about it, being able to talk, about it until really I started my YouTube channel. But let's see.
What's the one down at the very bottom? I can't read it all.
This one? I think it's for you.
That's a really good one.
In your years of being vegan, have you ever eaten animal products accidentally?
Yes. Well, you recently, but yes, it has happened. You're going to get served something where someone lies about the ingredients, or you may have missed something on a package. It's going to happen. You're not perfect. We don't live in a vegan world. It's going to happen. Recognize your mistake and move on the best you can and try not to do that again. That's my opinion.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you haven't seen my video on the Impossible Burger, I was straight up lied to, so I don't know if that was an accident or like the way it was set up. It was unfortunate, and I need to do another video on that soon. But Impossible Foods, who we all know makes a vegan product, we won't even get into that. You can watch my videos. What was the other thing? There was something else here. FBI hot dog. What did I say? Yeah, Earthly Net is another good one. There was another one up here then. Why are these deleted? I did see one and I'm trying to find it. Okay, so let's see here. Chris, I like your jacket. What's the No Evil mean? No Evil is it's a vegan seitan company, a vegan meat. So they have all kinds of they're really good. Check them out. No Evil Foods. They just got a deal with Whole Foods, but they're in Wegmans and they're from Asheville, North Carolina. Really good company.
They make a really good chorizo, don't they?
Yeah. And then what else we have? Smart Pup tofu dogs have my dog fooled. My dog loves.
I mean, to be fair, dogs will pretty much eat anything.
Yeah. But I put last night I made a field roast hot dog because I saw it all happened with a chain of events. I went to the store for no particular reason, and then I saw the Pretzilla hot dog buns. So I'm like, I gotta buy hot dogs with these. Okay. So I boiled one, And I took a little bit of the water, like seriously, like a couple tablespoons, and I put it on his dog food, and he went right in there like a maniac. Look at him. Like a maniac. He's a pup. All right, where are we at here? Is the restaurant time you got to leave, or can we keep going?
Whatever.
All right, cool. If you guys are cool with it, we're cool with it. We got 272 people on here. Smash that like button for us if you want to give it a second. Let's see. You don't date, why not? I don't, but that's a whole other video. I don't want to really get into that right now. Dogs can eat potatoes, Josh. In fact, sometimes when I'm out of sweet potatoes, I'll give them a regular potato. Doesn't like them as much depending on how they're cooked, but yeah.
I like that question by Laura RZ. Would you ever buy something non-vegan for a friend if they gave you the money for it? Nope. Just wouldn't do it. It doesn't fit into my ethics, my morals, my worldview. I feel like I would be enabling that person to contribute to cruelty, so no, I wouldn't.
Same here, and I can remember nobody asks me to do that anymore these days, but back when I first went vegan, I'd be at the store, and my mom was like, can you pick me up some milk? And I'm like, no, I won't pick you up some milk. She would get so mad at me. She didn't understand, but she does now. Would you ever, I've never done this either, but for us being straight edge, have you ever bought anybody like alcohol or anything?
Nope.
Same here.
August says, are you guys Rob Zombie fans? I don't know about you, Chris, but I've loved Rob Zombie since the White Zombie days back in the 90s. I'm super into like heavy metal, so I've been a fan of his music for a long time, and I guess he's vegan now, so that makes him even cooler to me.
For me, I'm not so much a fan of his music, but I'm a fan of Rob Zombie because I love just the horror style that he loves. I'm a fan because he's a vegan, and I'm also a fan of his movies, most of them. I just love that he makes horror movies. What do we got here? We got so many. We got Red Kitty, smash the like button. How do you handle aggressive hypotheticals from friends? I usually laugh it off. I mean, everybody's got that. What if you were on an island and there was only a pig? I'm like, well, I would eat what the pig was eating, because if the pig's alive, the pig's eating some kind of vegetation. I'd hang out with the pig and I'd eat whatever berries or whatever. Yeah, hypotheticals are like, come on, guys, why are you so interested to try to get me to say something that I would eat meat? Okay, if you were dying.
I feel like the people who say those things are just trying to be argumentative and confrontational, and they're trying to avoid like the actual issue of being an actual vegan in 2019 in the United States, which is extremely easy to do. So there's no need to get diverted into hypotheticals, because that's exactly what they are, is hypothetical. And generally, they're not genuinely asking you that question for a response. They're asking it to be argumentative, and I just wouldn't waste time on that.
Yeah, I agree. And I forgot what I was going to say. Natural Balance Vegetarian Formula, Josh. Yeah, I used to feed my dog Natural Balance as well, but it's not hypoallergenic, so sometimes he would get rashes, and all of those cleared up when I gave him VDOG. So VDOG, he's been on VDOG for, I don't know, maybe five years or so. Before that, it was like Natural Balance, and there's Nature's Recipe. He's 8, and he's been on a vegan formula for 7 years. Let's see what else we have here. If you guys, how cold is it right now today in Syracuse? Evil Vegans wants to know. It was actually just snowing a little bit ago, and it's 30 degrees around there. 30? And if you're just joining us, I'm here with Joel. Joel is the owner of Strong Hearts Cafe here in Syracuse, New York. He's also a longtime vegan, 25-year vegan, almost 26.
It's 36 degrees in Syracuse right now.
And yesterday was 65.
Yep, I was running in shirts and shorts.
Yeah. I could never.
I like there was another response up there. Lee Hill, like scroll down a little bit.
Down. Oh wait, what was this? That's a good one next time, Tech. If I was told to go get some milk for someone, I would take their money and come back with some almond milk. Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing with like oat milk or something. I'm like, hey, they didn't. Yes, Rob Zombie is vegan. And so is Sherry Moon Zombie. Okay, so did I pass it?
No, it's right there. This is basically a response to another question from Lee. Lee says, ask them the hypothetical of if you could live in a world where you could thrive without causing any harm to others, would you?
Exactly.
Great response, because that's reality. And what they're saying about desert islands and living in the Arctic Circle, that's not a reality.
Veggie Vet says it's 35 in Syracuse tonight. Did you look that up, or are you actually in Syracuse? Michelle says, I had a coworker ask me if I'd rather sit with someone I really don't like or eat meat. Like, WTF. Yeah, people come up with the other thing you notice is once you say you're vegan, everybody becomes a nutritionist. It's like, well, wait a minute, man, you're not getting this, like, how are you going to do that? I'm like, well, I've been doing it for the last, we keep saying how old we are here. 52 in Wilmington. Also, here's another one that nobody asked yet. If you did, I missed it. We've traveled all over the country, all over the world pretty much, and there's never been a place where I'm like, oh my God, I can't be vegan. People are like, well, you live near all these great grocery stores and stuff, but I didn't always. And back then, there were no vegan restaurants. They were very far and few between to find, we didn't have the vegan certifications, nothing like that. And somehow we made it work, no matter where we were. You just learned. I started forcing myself to learn to cook when I was 14. That's when I went vegetarian. My parents didn't support me, so I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to learn to cook on my own. And I kind of did that.
I want to address something here from Finding Magic. They say, my 1-year veganversary was on Friday. Thank you so much, Chris, for all that you do. I can't wait till I can say 29 years like you. So congratulations. That's amazing. Whether you've been vegan for 1 year, 1 month, or 10 years, or 100 years, it's all amazing. It's great for animals. One of my favorite sayings is, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Right now.
And that means a lot to me because it's never too late to go vegan or to really do anything in your life. And so what if you didn't start 20 years ago? Start today, and in 20 years you can say you've been vegan for 20 years. So
yeah, if you're not already vegan, there's no better time than right now. I mean, everything, you have support. These live streams, Facebook, the internet, YouTube, Google. Red Kitty Cat says, so Joel, when are you going to come to Saratoga and open up a Strong Hearts?
Thank you very much. I hear that a lot, and I wish I could open up a Strong Hearts in every upstate New York town that has asked me to.
Oh, and Veggie Vet says, are there any totally vegan places to eat in Syracuse? The only all vegan places are his restaurants. He owns 2 locations here in Syracuse. He's owned them for about 11 years. And those are the only places you can go to that are 100% vegan. You don't have to worry about meat or dairy cross-contamination. You can go in and you can order anything on the menu, unless you're allergic to soy.
There's a lot of good vegan options in Syracuse, especially really good ethnic options like Thai and Vietnamese, but Strong Hearts is the only all-vegan place in Syracuse.
Laura says, if I can say 29, I'll be 80. Hey, you can do it. Graven says, my daughter turned me vegan when she was 14 and she's 17 now. Congrats to her and you. Evil says, Chris, thanks for getting me addicted to Oatly. I love it. 50 years vegan.
It's pretty incredible.
That's awesome. Thank you. Us together are 50 years. So in your 50 years all on your... Wow.
Is that person saying they've been vegan for 50 years, or are they just commenting on the name of the video?
I didn't name it that. So no, yeah, maybe they've been vegan for 50 years. That's crazy. Yeah. No, Strong Hearts is not gluten-free, but you probably have gluten-free options, right?
We have more and more gluten-free options all the time. That's definitely not our focus. Some things naturally are gluten-free, and some things are intentionally gluten-free, but I would say about 30% of our menu is or can be made gluten-free.
So Lee says London, Ontario has 7 or 8 restaurants now. I hear Toronto has like its own little vegan dale. Whole little street of all vegan stuff. Out of all the places I've been ever, the most vegan, my favorite vegan place to go is Los Angeles.
My personal favorite, I mean, I love LA. I used to live in LA, lived there for 3 years, but my personal vegan destination is probably Portland, Oregon. Love Portland.
I thought you were going to say that. I didn't find it as... It's okay, but I you got a couple of friends that own restaurants out there too, right?
Yeah, my buddy Brian Heck, who's from Syracuse, moved out to Portland probably close to 10 years ago. He owns Canteen, which is an all-vegan kind of healthy smoothie bowl type place. And he owns a vegan juice cart called Sip that has 2 locations. So definitely check out Canteen and Sip when you're in Portland.
And I have a video of him falling off the falls.
I know. It's crazy. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I also agree New York City is an amazing destination. That's currently where I live.
What's your favorite place right now down there?
I love a place called 00, which is, I think, a Matthew Kenny restaurant.
Oh, I saw him at the expo.
Everything is made in-house, super fresh. It's mainly pizza, but not all pizza. They make their own cheese in-house. It's my favorite place to eat in New York right now, but that's constantly changing.
Birdie has a good question. Does food have to be certified vegan to be vegan? No. There are a lot of accidentally vegan foods, and then there's a lot of companies that have vegan foods that just don't have, they're small companies, they don't have the money to get the certification. Scranton, we have a vegan, Eden, a vegan cafe owned by our friend Christian. Orlando has the best hot dogs, a hot dog cart over there. Kindly name all vegan restaurants in Los Angeles. Sun Cafe is one of my favorites. Sage is another one. We've got Ramen Hood, which is all vegan. Crossroads. I have a lot of videos where it can show you everything that's vegan. I just went to Hinterhof, which is an all-vegan German place. Donut Friend, all-vegan donuts. Where did we go when we were there? We went to an Ethiopian place, but where else did we go?
There's Doomies.
There's
Veggie Grill. There's Organics. Crossroads.
Yeah, we could go on and on, but these are all Cocabella Creamery.
Native Foods.
You're getting hungry from all the talk and food. But yeah, so do you guys like these videos, having other vegans come on the show? I know I try to keep the live streams down to a minimum, but I thought this would be a good one for you guys to ask questions to some seasoned vegans, other than just hearing me talk all the time. Oh yeah, Christian is opening another, it's in Wilkes-Barre, okay? Is it possible for a product to be labeled vegan and the ingredients not to be? Like, how much should we trust the symbol? Well, if it's got a certified vegan, everything should be vegan. But you got to watch out for companies that are just putting a V on it. It's not certified, but they just put the V on it. I really, truly haven't seen that. I've seen it once where they had honey in something. And I think that was like a Whole Foods or something. But for the most part, if it's got that V, it's vegan. But then there's other one. Okay. Yeah, you've seen it? Yeah.
Someone asked me a question about Annie says, what's Joel's fave dish at his restaurant? It's hard to say. I've eaten everything hundreds of times, but if I had to pick one thing, honestly, it's the egg trick muffin. That's the thing that I still consistently get to this day, which is our version of like an egg McMuffin. And the recipe's in this book, page 28, I think.
Is it? I don't even know what page it is.
I could be wrong about that. 35, I was wrong, but
here we go.
The recipe's in the book. It's also on YouTube if you search Vegan Zombie Egg Trick Muffin. It's just an awesome breakfast sandwich that you can eat any time of the day, and it's comfort food, and it's delicious, and we've had many, many people...
Oh, Will Ferrell's on. Hi, Will.
Most of our customers at the cafe are not vegan. They're not even vegetarian. They just want to be healthier. They like the milkshakes. They like the cupcakes. And the egg trick muffin is one of their favorites, so take that as you will.
When I go there, I usually go with the specials of the month. He's got like 2 specials each month, right?
We do 3. We do a special, a Beyond Burger special. It's got different toppings and ingredients on it every month, and then we do 2 other specials, usually like a healthier one and more of a decadent one.
Legalize Freedom says, what book is this? Well, let's put it up the right way. This is our cookbook, my cookbook, mine and John's. This is the Vegan Zombie Cookbook. It's an award-winning cookbook, and it came out back in 2014. It was fan-funded through our Kickstarter. So it had all of our recipes on our YouTube show up until that point. It's got tons of pictures, and at the very beginning, it's got a little comic story telling the Vegan Zombie story. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it got a forward by Terry Hope Romero, who is one of the co-writers for the Veganomicon and a lot of other books too. I just saw her a couple weeks ago. Did you ever meet her or just Isa?
I've never met Terry. There's a question from Evil Vegans that maybe you and I can both answer individually.
This one right here?
Yeah.
What would be both of your absolute favorite meals? Oh man, it changes. I love pizza. I love my dish bibimbap if I'm looking for a healthier dish. And I love ramen. I don't know. I think I eat pizza the most, so it'd probably be some kind of like a margarita pizza.
I love tacos. There's so many different things you can do with tacos, so many ingredients. I also love pizza, as Chris said. I also love fermented foods. So kimchi is one of my all-time favorite foods, which is like a spicy fermented Korean cabbage dish, which I absolutely love. I love sauerkraut. I love pickles. That kind of briny, vinegary, fermented flavor is one of my favorite flavors.
Will Farrell says, yo, dudes. Yo, Will. Do you like Wild Brine?
I love their stuff, yes.
They just came out with a fermented cheese. That is, it's not in stores yet, but vegan cupcakes, says Misty. Oh yeah, I don't know about you, but I've been to Chloe's in New York City and California.
Many, many times. I love By Chloe's.
Yeah, it's good stuff. God, I'm getting hungry. Pizza and tacos, yeah, of course. You got some longtime vegans going for the junk food. Will you do another run of the cookbook? I do want to do another run of it because I want to get the hard copy out there. We're out. We don't have any more, so I can't sell them. But we do have an ebook. This version in an ebook, so you can buy the ebook. It's a lot cheaper too. But eventually, I hope to get that published by another publisher and get them in stores and stuff like that. Maybe even a second cookbook. But we're still working on the film, so that's the first and foremost. After the film's done, then we'll figure out what else we're doing. If we buy the book on Amazon, does it support you too? No, but I mean, yeah, if that's the only place to buy it, then get it on Amazon. I don't know who's getting paid for that, but it's still getting the word out, and we don't have any more. So if you want the hard copy, go to Amazon. I don't know how many are left there, but it's not me. Do you love avocados? If they're perfectly ripe, I love avocados. I don't like my avocados warm or cooked.
I love all avocados, just not underripe.
Right. Have you eaten at any of the Philly vegan restaurants? I haven't really spent much time in Philly, but I have gone to Blackbird's and I forget the other place.
The most famous one, at least in my opinion, is probably Veg, which is like a super amazing, kind of a high-end vegan gourmet restaurant. It's extremely expensive, but if you're in Philly, it's definitely a must visit. Set aside some money and go there. It's definitely worth the money. It's an amazing experience. The food is the best ever. Right next door to Veg is a couple other places. One called V Street. I think that's what it's called, right? V Street. And there's another one called Whiz Kids. Philly's got some amazing vegan food. Hip City Veg is in Philly. Govinda's is in Philly, which is kind of an old school place, but it's still pretty good.
I've been to the Hip City Veg in D.C., so it's probably the same one.
Same
Okay, yeah, that's really good. Somebody, Heaven Wonder says, do you ever crave meat? Did you ever crave meat when you first went vegan? I never really liked meat. I was the kid that was, eat your dinner. I mean, remember, I stopped eating meat when I was 14. So before that, my memories of meat were I had to eat what was on the plate in front of me, and I'd be chewing on it, and I'd spit it into my napkin. Like, I never really, and then I don't even really want to get into it, but the nasty parts of the chicken, and like, I never missed eating the meat. When I went vegan, though, I did kind of miss some of the cheeses. And when we went vegan, there were no vegan cheeses like we have now. So at first, I missed that for maybe a little bit, but I don't miss any of it anymore.
Yeah.
Deodorants I recommend. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to answer that one too. I don't remember ever craving meat when I first went vegan. For me, I used to really love seafood. I used to go fishing. I used to fish a lot. So seafood was like the last kind of animal that I stopped eating. But it's been so long that I literally don't crave any animal products because, as Chris said earlier, like, that's not food to me. That's just chopped up animal parts. So no, I didn't crave meat when I first went vegan, and I definitely don't crave it now.
Yeah, once you make that connection, just make that connection that it's not food. And I know I've said it a million times, but like, I wouldn't eat this container right here. I can't eat it. It's not food. That's the way I think of animal products. It's not food. I understand people eat it, but to me, it's not edible. So, I figure out, well, there's thousands of different plants and combinations that I can make delicious things with that. So, put that on your radar and think of it that way. And the other question here is deodorants that I recommend. So, trying to go as healthy as possible and vegan and look for my deodorant after all these years that I've tried so many different things. The one that I like is Schmidt's. So I like Schmidt's. There's tons of different scents. I have like a cedarwood one and a charcoal one. And I also use their toothpaste and their soap and their body wash. What about you?
I use one called, I think, Urban Cowboy. Okay. Urban, it's like Herb, H-E-R-B.
Oh, Urban Cowboy.
Urban Cowboy.
Cool.
Vegan, cruelty-free, not tested on animals. That's just my personal preference.
I also have been using a toothpaste by Magic Mud, which is really good too. And they just came out with a vegan dental floss. But I've been using Radius dental floss. I know a lot of people didn't realize that most dental floss is not vegan. And there's even one out there that says cruelty-free on the back, but it's not vegan. They use beeswax in it. So, and I forget the name of that one. But Radius and Magic Mud have some really good vegan dental floss. Highly recommend. We're a little bit behind on the questions here too. Graven likes Strong Hearts. Your Strong Heart shirt. Thank you. Thank God I found your channel years ago, and thank you so much for helping me figure out veganism. Be here, meow 444. Well, congrats. Thank you. Yeah, once you stop eating meat and you realize, what it like. So Weave Magic is talking about at Christmas. Someone brought a turkey over. Once you stop eating it and you see it for what it really is, you really get grossed out by it. I love the rose vanilla. Herban Cowboy deodorant. I don't think I've had that one. Yeah, there's a lot of toothpaste that's tested on animals. We're trying to read the questions. Sorry about the dead air. How to go vegan after 15 years as a vegetarian? I'm stuck. So what is it you're stuck about? What is it you can't go on to go vegan for? So if you're vegetarian, you're not eating the meats and stuff. So we have delicious vegan cheeses now. If the cheese is it, if it's the dairy, there's delicious vegan milks. If you tried one and you didn't like it, there's so many. So try another one. There's a lot of vegan milks I don't like. There's a lot of vegan cheeses I don't like. Actually, there's only a few vegan cheeses I don't like. But there's a lot of good things out there. So if you can't make the step over, then is it the recipes? Anything you're going to make normally. So let's say whatever your go-to, like, okay, so you're a vegetarian and you're going to go eat dinner, and whatever you would normally eat, hold off for a minute and then find a vegan recipe to make that same dish vegan. Write down all the recipes that you would normally have in a week and then find vegan versions of those. If it's the cheese and the dairy, then, do that, but do it vegan ones and stuff like that. There's a lot of vegan cheeses out there now. What were you going to say?
Just to add to that, I think, phasing things out and substituting vegan products in is great advice. I would also urge you to, connect with the animals on an ethical level, The dairy industry is just as cruel, if not crueler than the meat industry. And I know that may be a difficult thing to hear and agree with, but dairy is torture. Dairy is rape. Eggs, it's the same thing with eggs. And what you're doing by buying those products is supporting those industries. And if you can see things for yourself or maybe even go to an animal sanctuary and see the animals that you'd be saving by switching to a vegan diet, I think that would help you transition to being vegan a lot faster.
Yeah, I agree. When you know that there's a little animal as a victim behind every decision that you're making that's not vegan, it really makes a difference. And
honestly, I would be vegan if there was no vegan cheese. If there was no vegan milk, that wouldn't matter to me because real milk, real dairy is so heinous to me that it wouldn't matter that I didn't have a vegan alternative.
Well, we're seeing the dairy industry losing billions, and that's because no one's drinking anymore. There's medicine out there that says dairy relief. We're not meant to be eating dairy. And that causes a lot of problems. People don't realize it. But VJ says, I'm veganish. I love pizza. Which mozzarella would you recommend? So we said this earlier tonight. Miyoko's has a really good mozzarella that melts really well, tastes really good on pizza. Some other ones I would say Good Planet, Violife, Chow, Follow Your Heart. They all have really good cheeses. And even the new Dea cutting board shreds are really good. I wouldn't really go with the original Dea, but the cutting board shreds are extremely good. Do you guys move to that?
So for
Oh,
a while,
PMA.
yeah, we switched to the cutting board, and I agree that the product is way better. But we just a few weeks back switched to a local vegan
Yep.
cheesemaker called PMA Foods. We wanted to support a local guy, and he's got a very good product.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. Just got into vegan yogurt. Defile says there's a lot of vegan yogurt. Actually, I did a video where Cesar and me go through like all the yogurts. Um, I just got the charcoal toothpaste. You guys saw at Expo from that lady. So that's Magic Mud. That's a really good. I love that toothpaste. Eat it on my dinner. Just kidding. We do. Thank you for reminding me that we do have a whole video on vegan mozzarella review. Yeah, that whole impossible things. I'm going to do another video on that because I got a few more things to say. What? Where do I find the Super Cow hat? Dea uses palm oil. Check out my video on palm oil before you boycott a company like that, especially Earth Balance. Check out my video after this. I highly recommend. There's a brand I buy that's called She's, but I'm in the UK and I don't know if you can get it in the US. Yeah, She's. I used to get that back in 2008, like over 10 years ago when I lived in the DC area. I haven't seen it around here lately, but they do have it. Yeah, I just had some at the expo a couple weeks ago. You've had She's or no?
I haven't had it.
No. Wait, worst non-vegan reactions you ever had? I'm not sure if I understand. You understand what they're talking about that?
Maybe reactions by non-vegan people to our veganism.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, people usually just get defensive and
yeah.
insulting, and we already talked about in the earlier in this thing that most people do that because they feel bad about their own decisions, not because they feel bad about what you're doing. So don't take it personally and just move on.
I actually don't get too many bad ones these days. Everybody's pretty cool about it. Even non-vegans, they want to know more about it and stuff like that. I don't go out like telling people what they should eat or something. I do all that through my YouTube channel where I can just sit back, make my videos, and hopefully inspire some people to go vegan. And that's what I'm normally doing. But, every once in a while I'll meet somebody and they're usually genuinely interested. And, I tell them what I tell them and, maybe that'll plant the seed. My hat is from Beyond Meat. I got this at the Beyond Meat booth at the expo. They didn't sneak any cheese in my food. What do you think of raw veganism? Well, we've both dabbled with it, and I think I try to eat a lot of raw foods. But when you stick to it as a restricted diet, that's when it can get dangerous. And that's when, I'm not saying that it's, there's people that do it totally fine. But I felt like a shift in my mental state. Not that I had a bad mental state, but like just, oh my God, I got to only eat this raw. I can't, oh, that's a little bit cooked. I can't eat that. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not going to eat a piece of cooked broccoli because, what's wrong with that? So I stopped doing it. I still eat a lot of raw foods, but I don't follow any like strict raw diet because it really can mess with you, if that's all you're going to do. And I don't think that being raw is any healthier than either one of us who are not raw. And we're both longtime vegans. So
I think the same about raw veganism as I do if you just ate vegan pizza all day or vegan ice cream. I mean, it's saving animals, and that's really what it's about for me. So kudos to you. If you want to do raw vegan, I would say do a little research and be smart about it. But it's not any different or any better than any other vegan diet. So
Well, I think what they're saying there is like any vegan diet is I don't care what people eat as long as it's vegan. I really don't. It's great because every vegan diet is abstaining from eating animals, abstaining from the cruelty to animals. But the people that are going on these raw vegan diets, and it seems like a lot of them are like they're like straight up like on the health kick as far as that goes. And I don't always think it can be the healthiest thing for you. And as we know, a lot of these big vegan YouTubers all had that in common. They were on these restrictive raw vegan diets that they weren't even getting everything that they need on this diet. So, so there's definitely something that's got to be said about that, So,
what else we got?
How was being vegan back then? It was different, but it's definitely doable. Like I said earlier, I've never thought veganism was hard. I've always loved it. I've always loved what I was doing. Even if it seemed like a challenge, I'd be like, all right, what are we going to eat tonight? We're in the middle of nowhere. There's no vegan restaurants. The internet doesn't exist yet. What are we going to do? Always figured something out. I'm still here. I never starved. Nova Scotia. Hey, Heather K. I'm a new vegan, having trouble finding meals that my kids like. Any recommendations? Christy Thompson says. Yeah, this is what I say to other people. So what would your kids normally like if they weren't vegan? Because I guarantee you can find anything in a vegan version of what they normally would like. I mean, kids, like, what are we thinking? We have, like, really good vegan chicken nuggets. You can make grilled cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, these are some, like, really good go-to foods for kids.
Hot dogs, burgers, all that stuff.
All the things that we ate when we were kids, and we didn't die. I mean, we're still here. But, yeah, there's, if you want to go healthier, like, we have a really good recipe for a really tasty kale salad in our cookbook. How to make kale taste good and get your kids to eat it. But stuff like I'm talking about food in your stomach. All right. So Papa John's in the UK just launched a vegan pizza, sides and cheese, and Ben and Jerry's vegan ice creams. That's cool. I've been going to Papa John's for years and years. I used to live next to one when I lived in DC. Just didn't get any cheese on it, but
same. I think their garlic sauce is vegan.
Their garlic sauce is vegan. I'd be like, give me like 10 of those, and yeah. Our Vegan Flow wants to. So if you missed that vegan deodorant, I said Schmitz. I really like Schmitz, and Joel said
Herb and Cowboy.
I guess we'll do a few more questions here while we're on. Oh, what is this one? What I just missed? There's a lot of questions. I'm sorry if we didn't get to yours. Oh, this one we get a lot. Laura wants to know, do you ever get approached on the street when wearing vegan apparel? Lovers, haters, curious. Yeah, like with people that wear like my vegan zombie shirts and stuff, and even when I was wearing, a lot of people came up with that. And when I wear, certain vegan shirts, they do get a lot of comments and questions like, "Hey, tell me more about this." What is the vegan zombie? That kind of thing. What about you?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't wear a ton of I'm vegan T-shirts, but when I do, people often ask about it.
Yeah. What's my favorite vegan celebrity YouTuber? I don't actually watch a lot of vegan YouTubers. I live my life as a vegan. I make vegan content. I have my own YouTube channel. So for the most part, when I'm not doing that, when I have a little bit of free time, I try to watch other kind of videos. A lot of filmmaking videos and podcast videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I got a lot of friends out there, but I don't necessarily watch all of their stuff.
Same. I couldn't even name one vegan YouTuber. I'm just not caught up on that.
Yeah. I would make a cookbook part 2. Be here, meow 444. Actually, I wanna make another cookbook. I want to make a trilogy actually, because as I said earlier, there's that little comic in the front. So I want to continue that story, and with each story have a bunch of recipes. So that's what I want to do. I also want to make a vegan pizza book. He should not be running down the stairs like that. Morningstar chicken nuggets. Yes, Morningstar is on a mission to make all of their foods vegan again in the year 2021. But right now they do have a lot of vegan stuff, and their chicken nuggets are really good. They also have the buffalo ones that are really good. Are we almost caught up? Okay, here we go. All right, we missed a few questions here, but vegan zombie tea. How do I get it? You can get any of my t-shirts on my website. I do make them myself. So if it does say out of stock and back ordered, you can just order one and I make it in my garage. I'm a do-it-yourself guy. The vegan YouTubers is Chris, Mike the vegan couple, James Aspie, Earthy Ned, and Goji Man. So I know all of them except for Goji Man. I like Ryan and Ange from Happy Healthy Vegan. Tino, Bananiac, Noeg Kreger.
Leah Rouse says, does your friend not watch your channel? I will watch videos if you post a link to Facebook. If it's a topic that I find interesting, yeah, I'll definitely watch it. Like The Impossibles.
The Impossible stuff. A lot of people watch that.
Yeah.
When will you come to Scotland, says Nathan. Hopefully soon. I really want to go to Scotland. You been to Scotland?
I have not been to Scotland.
Ireland?
Not been to Ireland. Have been to England.
What's your thoughts on minimalism? I'm on a quest. Veganism is just one of the small parts, says Valis. I always try to be, but I'm very sentimental. So everything that I've ever had means something to me from when I was younger. And I have a problem. Like, I try my hardest too. Like, I don't want a lot of things because I hate moving. I hate having a lot of stuff cluttering around. So I do my best. I try to stay as organized as I can. I try not to get more stuff, but I have certain things from when I was younger that I'll never get rid of just because I have a huge sentimental value. Part of, you get the drift.
I'm all for it. Throw it all away.
Yeah.
It's all stuff. A few people have asked about the Strong Heart shirt, if they can buy it online. We do sell Strong Heart shirts online. Unfortunately, this one is out of print and we're not making it anymore. But if you go to strongheartscafe.com and click web store at the top, it'll take you to where you can buy shirts.
Let's pull it up right now. Cafe or just Strong Hearts?
Strongheartscafe.com. And there will be a store link at the top.
Okay, this is what we're seeing right here. Strong Hearts store link is up here.
Yep.
Click on that. Boom.
Oh, we actually do have a few shirts left if we want to grab them, but yeah. There's a few more underneath there too, but
so this will be. I have this shirt right here. This hoodie looks cool. Is there anything on the front?
Yep, it's got our logo down on the pocket.
And then the shirts.
But we do sell a lot of stuff,
Pretty
fairly
fast.
quickly. So, and we generally don't reprint designs. So if you're interested, then go ahead and pick one up.
There's the hours of the store. Let's see what you're about.
Oh, if you go back to the actual website.
We're not on the website anymore?
We're in the store part of it. Just go back to, you can X out of this and then go up to that part right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boom. All All right, let's go to the about. Let's see a little bit about Joel. And if you guys are just joining us, Joel is the owner of the only vegan restaurant here in Syracuse, New York. He's got 2 locations. He's a co-owner. Sorry, him and Nick. And there's Nick right there. Nick generally manages the Strong Hearts on the Hill. And there's Joel. Is this you from
That's from the Sea Shepherd days.
The Sea Shepherd days.
With a lot less gray hair. Nick looks pretty young in his picture too.
God,
I haven't read this in a long time.
Joel is another long-time vegan. And yeah, I hope you guys are liking this live stream. Back to where we were over here. What's going on? Okay, there we go. We're a little bit delayed. The whale shirt is awesome. We got a lot of questions going. This is good, guys. Do you ship to Canada?
We can, but just email us before you buy it so we can make arrangements to do that. Is Strong Hearts your first restaurant? Yes, it's the first restaurant I've ever owned or ever even worked in. So a lot of the learning curve was very steep in the beginning.
August wants to know if I have vegan zombie phone cases. No, but I was actually thinking about that back in the day. Should I do that? Is that a thing? Bumper stickers? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Which one?
TWU 2003. Hello from San Antonio. Any suggestions on family gatherings, celebrations, etc. when you're the only vegetarian?
Yeah, I would say make some. There's not going to be an all vegan gathering, but definitely make some really kick-ass recipes, some dishes. Bring them with you. I always try to go with like the mac and cheese stuff like that, and then maybe some sweets, maybe some cupcakes or something that people are going to be like, wow, this is amazing. And then as they're eating it, just kind of be like, oh, you like that? And watch them eat all of your stuff before they go back to theirs. And then, talk to them about it. Say, oh, well, that's vegan food. And maybe you can bring it up that way. Food does the talking a lot of the time. Because when they can't deny how good something is.
Mm-hmm. That happens to me every day, obviously. I would also add, just don't feel weird about it. I mean, it might be awkward to bring your own dish to a family gathering, but your family will get used to it. It'll make you feel better. And like Chris said, it may help win them over to being more open to try vegan food. So stand your ground, but be polite about it.
Yeah, my aunt makes wreaths, and she made me a whole vegan zombie wreath because she's like, excited that I do this. So...
Here's a good question from Robin Michelle. Do you like the weather in Syracuse?
For like a fraction of...
It does snow here quite a bit. It's one of the snowiest cities in the continental United States. And I actually don't hate the weather in Syracuse. It could be warmer at times, sure, but I love the seasons. I love the fact that we have 4 distinct seasons. Winter's a little long, but other than that, I really don't mind it.
We have like the best fall anywhere as I'm concerned in the world. Well, I mean, it looks amazing here in the fall. I hate the spring. It's too muddy.
I would say October in upstate New York is a very, very nice place to be. Yeah,
and speaking of October, we're doing our first in a long time, our first major Veg Fest here in Syracuse, New York. October 19th.
October 19th at the New York State Fairgrounds. It's the first one in probably like 8 or 9 years, so we're excited about that.
Veggie wants to hear Sea Shepherd stories other than the one that he already told.
That's for another time. Yeah, that'd be. I appreciate that, but I have so many. There's actually a book called Whale Warriors, which was written by a guy from National Geographic called Peter Heller, who was on the ship with us. I would highly recommend that book because Peter was on the ship and me and my friends are in the book, and it gives a first-hand account of that trip we went on.
Maybe we'll do another live stream at some point where Joel can come back as a guest speaker and we can talk about more stuff like that. So let us know in the comments.
Jeff and Justin could come too because they were on the ship.
Jeff
and Justin.
Justin?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff Watkins?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's another vegan business owner here in Syracuse, just not food. What was the other thing that I just had right here? I think I missed it here. How old is the vegan zombie? We started the vegan zombie 10 years ago. 10 years. It's 10 years old. Bar Harbor, Maine.
Love Maine. Bar Harbor, Maine, Acadia National Park. That's a really, really beautiful area of the country. Maine is gorgeous.
It is. Stuff says, do you get asked your age every time, Chris? I usually do, yes. Because people don't believe I've been vegan as long as I have. And then when they hear that I haven't eaten meat in 29 years, but I was a teenager when I did it, they're like, what? You're lying to us. I do want to go, Leah, I do want to go to the Toronto Veg Fest. The last Veg Fest I went to was the Montreal one. And that was like a year and a half ago. Melissa, thank you so much for the donation there. Thank you for all you do for veganism. And also, happy birthday.
Nice.
Happy belated birthday, because it was yesterday or something. Leah has been following the Vegan Zombie for about 9 years. So yeah, you've been right. Probably our first video. Our first video was stuffed shells and bruschetta, and I had to use special effects. So John had a baguette. I'm like, pretend it's a shotgun. So he goes, and then I put special effects, and he's like, stupid, but it was fun. Do you think you guys would be good survivors in the zombie? Heck yeah, I would.
I like that's one of my like fantasies is to like do a zombie apocalypse. I would just have a great time.
Yeah.
I love it.
I secretly do too. Yeah. Wait, what's it? Heather Chicky. I agree. Heather says, I hate it when friends say you used to be such a great cook. I'm way better now that I'm using and creating vegan dishes. They don't get it. There's so many real culinary skills that you can use. That's why I didn't like when like Master Chef or Iron Chef was like, it's like you couldn't be on it if you were a vegan. It's like you're not really but what's up with Gordon Ramsay going vegan now? It's awesome.
I forgot to actually tell you about this, Chris. Back in January, I was contacted by a food video game, or I'm sorry, a food cooking show, like a competitive cooking show that's really popular on TV right now. And I submitted the application. They actually came to me and wanted me to be on the show. So I submitted the application, submitted the video. They loved me. They wanted to have me on. And then I did one final phone interview with a producer of the show. And she was like, there may be times where you got to use non-vegan ingredients. Would that be okay with you? And I was like, that would not be okay with me. I've already told you this. So I didn't get to be on the show, but they said that they may do a vegan episode of the show. So I might get a chance to be on the show at some point.
I actually asked a couple of times, and I had that same kind of like interview with somebody on like a Skype line. And in one of the videos that I submitted to them, I actually go in your restaurant. You're in it. You serve me. It was to.
I remember that.
It was to Guy Fieri's to try to do like a vegan, diners, drive-ins, and dives. And you're in that video, and I just found it like a couple days ago.
Nice.
And I was watching it. I said the same thing, but when they asked me, I feel like just to get on the show, just say, yeah, I'll do whatever. But once you're on the show, you're like, no, I won't work with anything that's not vegan. And then I would rather...
I just didn't want it to be an issue there.
Yeah.
I wanted them to know that that was my ethical position, and I wasn't going to change it just to be on TV.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I would never cook with an animal.
But she sounded pretty hopeful that there would be a vegan
somebody
episode.
in Indy helps me cook, but yeah. So hopefully that comes about and
Yeah.
that happens. That would be sweet. What else do we got here? Is Gordon Ramsay really vegan? I don't know, because you never know with celebrities, but I can say that that's what I read in the news, that he said he's going vegan, and he did put some vegan dishes in some of his restaurants, and he told Piers Morgan what was up. So that's good. Well, the one celebrity that I can say is a true vegan is Moby. That guy's a real vegan.
It's been like 2.5 hours. Is this?
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry, dude.
I mean, it's fine for me, but it just seems like it's a long time to.
Well, I think people are coming and going, and some people are still here. We have a lot of people here. If you want to get going, we can close it up. You're right. It's
how
been a
long
while.
do you usually do these things?
Well, sometimes they go a little bit. This is pretty long, yeah. You know what? Time flies when you're just kind of doing it. But all right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
And let us know what you think in the comments when this is done. If you guys want to see Joel again, if there's a certain subject you want us to talk about, and watch out for zombies. And we'll see you next time.
Final parting words here. If you're thinking about going vegan or having trouble fully transitioning, it can be done. We're living proof. It has never been easier to be vegan. There are plenty of resources out there. And do it. It's the best option for you. It's the best option for the earth. And it's the best option, of course, for animals. So don't give up. Hang in there. And do your best. We know you're going to make mistakes, but it's super important. And we have dedicated our entire lives to it. So
pretty much, yeah.
Go vegan.
Yeah, go vegan for life. Stay vegan. Evil Vegan says no, don't go. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching and staying with us, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good night.